Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, "Life is too important to be taken seriously." So lighten up, folks. So today's episode is, drumroll please, Life of a Sex Worker, Part 8, the final installation of this series. P.S. Before I forget, thumbs up. I'll remind you at the end as well. So, first 7 episodes, I pretty much chronicled from day one, which was, God, I still can't believe it's been 38 years. I started in 1985. So time flies when you're having vodka, right? So, it was always that, like, it wasn't the only thing I did, and I've spoken about that in prior videos where I think that's why my longevity is there, because it's not the only thing I did. SAG actor, retail, and now, like, even having this YouTube channel and all, social media and all of that. So I think that's why I'm still able to do it after so many years. But now let's fast forward. So, I've been in Sunnyside, I've been keeping busy, and then of course the pandemic hit. So when the pandemic hit, of course I immediately stopped seeing clients, and I didn't do it for probably a good amount of months. And then I started again like that, I think it was like that July or August, but then, then that fall second wave. So then I stopped, and then I didn't start again till after I was fully vaccinated. But having said that, what I did do was, early on in the pandemic, when like no one could leave the house and we were quarantined, the whole content creation work of like OnlyFans, just for fans, which was something I never did because I've always been like an in-person worker, and I knew of it, but it wasn't really anything, I guess, that I cared to do. But a dear friend of mine, she was like, "Girl, you should do this." So I did actually embark on that, and I currently do have a Just for Fans and OnlyFans. I enjoy it to a certain degree. I mean, I do, and you do make money off it. The only thing with that is it's very much like, even when doing these videos on social media, it's like you have to really keep on top of it. Like, you have to constantly be taking pictures and filming content. And I did initially, like, I started off really strongly, but then once I started doing in-person work again, that's always been my thing. That, I guess, for me, it's more like the human connection, and then nothing against doing content. But, even when I started with this channel, it was like really weird initially for me to like be in front of a camera and talking. As an actor, of course, you perform, or whether you're doing stage or television, but it's never just you alone filming like this. So that was even a learning process for me. But, I've done that. I still dabble in it, not as much as maybe I initially was. And it's interesting too, because after so many years of doing this, I love it. And I get reminded constantly about how much I do enjoy doing this work, because, I get really great clients. But, it's not all the bed of roses. Every now and again, you get one that's, might be a little bit of a pain in the butt. And then I have found myself saying, "Girl, I'm getting too old for this shit." But by and large, they've always been such wonderful experiences that I kind of feel like I want to keep doing it till I can. Now, I say that now, but because, I am 58 going on 59, and I started when I was 20, the other day I was thinking, when I turn 60, it'd be really cool to say I've done this for 40 years and like leave on a high note. So that's also kind of what I'm thinking now, but everything is subject to change. So, I keep busy, but what I have learned also is, like, where I was eons ago, like, I've said this too, that like, I would never ever say no to a client. These days, like, if I'm not in the mood, or if it's later than I care for it to be, or if I'm just not available, then it's a little more commonplace for me to actually turn down the work. Doesn't happen that often. And if I'm legitimately busy, then I'm busy. the SAG strike, as we know, was going on, so I haven't been on set for a few months, and I kind of missed that, and I think that's might be part of the reason why uh, I'm suddenly having these thoughts of like, well, how much longer do I want to do this? Because it's I for me personally, it's a little dangerous, for lack of a better word, if I'm only doing like one thing. So I'm so used to like doing so many different things, and working on set, even if it was just one day a week doing background work, it broke up the monotony of just doing this. And because I have not had that, then I'm like, this strike needs to hurry up and finish, because I'm missing being on set and having that part of my life active. So I'm not trying to predict anything. For now, I enjoy it enough, and a lot actually, that I wouldn't stop doing it. That I also, what I've been doing now is like with the content creation. When I first started, because like you couldn't be around anyone, it was a lot of solo content that I was doing. I did actually connect with this kind of like a pseudo porn company, for lack of a better term. These guys that are live here in New York City, and they have their apartment set up as like a studio. So like I would say, me and Joe Schmo want to film. They do all the filming, the editing. They give you the finished project, and then we all own the copyrights, and then you sell it on your platform. So because the whole editing aspect of it, I've done my own content with other guys where we do our own editing. And even though I'm good at it, it's time consuming. So that's what I like about this entity. And I've worked with them a little bit. And it's just a matter of me, finding people to film with, which is easy enough. It's just more a matter of me making the time to want to do it. So that's kind of interesting too, that like, so late in the game for me, after so many years, like now I'm actually like filming some of my excursions with these other guys for this online work. So, and you always got to like keep up with the times, and life is ever changing, technology changes. That I went from placing ads in newspapers to pagers to doing the online thing, and now it's basically like everything is basically online. Even in terms of getting clients, there are sites that you go on, and that's how I get it. That, and of course my regulars that keep me busy. So uh, anyway, that's the scoop with that. I am going to try to make this one short. Try is the key word there, because I have no clue how long I've been talking. But suffice to say, I enjoy what I do, and until I get to a point where it's no longer enjoyable, that's when I'll stop. Or when I turn 60, just because my mathematical mind thinks it would be great to say, I did it for 40 years. I say that now, but watch, I'll turn 60 and something fierce will happen, and I'll be like, oh, I ain't going nowhere. So, all right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Don't forget thumbs up. I'm going to start reminding everyone at the beginning as well, just in case. Subscribe if you have not. Thank you so much for being here. So this is the last part of this series. So the next series is going to be Life of an Empress Drag Queen. So I'm going to give my whole history with that. And that also will be an 8-part series every other Friday at 10 a.m. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I love doing these videos, and I really love that I have this channel. Little side note, when I started this, like I had started and then the pandemic hit, and this actually doing these videos, especially that first year, because I was putting out like 3 a week, it was not only helpful for me to like, feel like I was communicating with people, but like for my mental health, because remember early on, we were so isolated. So you guys helped me a lot more than you realize. I want to thank everyone for that. Okay. Till the next time, love you, stay safe, take care of each other, and see you soon.